The crypto market is volatile. We are doing that up and down motion till setting day, where the panic sale pushed us low and now we are consolidating. So if we look at XRP, we can see that the RSI is breaking to the downside. It went up, retested that, it's trending to the downside. The price seems to be holding the support range as of now. 0.58, 0.6 seems to be a little bit strong. Buyers are entering here. That looks good at that price range, but we also need to look at this. We made the double bottom here in the RSI back in 2019 December and early 2020. So if we can stay above that one, it's bullish. But remember, these area can provide long wicks to the downside. So if you are a buyer waiting to buy at lower prices, that can be an opportunity. Now, one of my reasoning for that would be this. Now, we are bulls for XRP, looking at its use case and how things are evolving. However, if we look at the current scenario, say this is a strong support for us. Great. We are holding on that. But we have actually broken this particular trend line, which we were abiding by from 2020. So that is one of the medium to long term trend line we just broke below, and the weekly candle closed there. The next one is here. So we need to actually see what we are going to do, because if it is going to work like this, say we may go retest this one if this support here on which we are staying right now stays strong. So we are bounce. So we can actually bounce, fine. So if we bounce and break it higher, that's a bullish scenario. But if not, we're actually going to come back down and retest this one. So that can actually waste our time. It's like, the SEC game bleeding us out another 3-4 months. So that's one of the scenario for XRP. But if we are able to actually break this to the upside, the scenario changes. We are back in that medium to long term trend line. But look at the RSI right now. If you look at the RSI, yes, we can see that we are making lower highs and trending down. Fine. And we can also see that we are reaching that long term support range. So we don't see a huge downside like many people in the crypto Twitter space arguing that we are going all the way back down to that 0.1, 0.25 range, which seems a little bit too much, because you can actually see this range which we've been holding for a long time. We were testing that range before going up and we were below that. Then once we broke below, we retested it and bounced, right? So this is the next area where we stayed some time. We broke above, we retested and bounced. So this range, I think, has strong support, strong potential as we look at this. But right now, as the market is volatile, you need to actually look at the short-term charts and see what it shows, and does it actually match with the long-term charts, because the long-term charts and short-term is different. But if you can actually understand the scenario happening in both of them, you may be able to see what's coming ahead, because the Bitcoin, which is kind of volatile right now, is kind of leading the market, and you can understand that clearly. So you can look at the Bitcoin macro and the short term, then go to the altcoin market cap where you can understand what it's actually doing. So we are going to describe through that in detail so that you have a better understanding of what's happening and you can make sense of what you are seeing in this market right now. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. We just saw that Mint NFT put this one out, and it is great to see the adoption, the expansion, and how XRP Ledger is expanding. Why? Because of its use case. Why? Because there's no other competitor in the space who has the same ability and the network effect. That is giving the advantage to Ripple. So now if we go look at the developer activities, yes, Polkadot, Cardano stands way above Ripple and XRP Ledger, but if you see the trend continue, in 6 months to a year, you will see it being changed, right? So right now, this tweet from Ripple, if you are looking at this particular tweet, you get to see this. Last year showed continued maturation of the crypto space, and what you are looking forward to, this here multi-chain interoperability. So that's like, XRP Ledger to Cardano, XRP Ledger to Flare, all those stuff coming in. Then explosive growth in crypto payments. Understand this? Explosive growth in crypto payments. Before this, we have already watched that quarter to quarter, year on year, the XRP payments has went up. It skyrocketed. So now they are highlighting this is coming to in. A new pressure to refine NFT infrastructure. Why you go look at the Ether ecosystem right now, and it's like the gas fees, the transaction time, and other stuff gets inconvenient. Say for example, if you're using the MetaMask and use Ether, you may understand how much you actually need to do all of your, say, let it be, say you are running a node or anything else. When you are using this, you understand what the gas fee is and how much you need to keep the balance there in order to execute those payments. And if you are like, okay, I'm not keeping it there, then you need to move it throughout your wallets. Now, say for example, there are competitors. I agree. Say you look at Zenfin, say they have ZenPay, and it also works better. So the pressure to refine this infrastructure is coming in, and majority of the projects right now are on the Ether platform, right? All of them are going to move slowly out. And yes, we do need more clarity from the SEC side for XRP to go sky high, but we will join the party. We will be in that. Why? Because as highlighted by me here, you also have to understand this is not something happening only inside US. We are everywhere. 95% of whatever Ripple is doing is outside United States. Now, yes, that reduces the leverage, but you're still expanding. They're not sitting on sidelines saying, okay, let us figure out what SEC is going to come out with. Because, first of all, they don't understand what's happening. But the next stuff is, yes, that NFT space, your gaming space, everything is going to explode. If you are believing that we are going to go down, look at this one. Goldman Sachs looks at metaverse as an $8 trillion opportunity. So when you come back to the crypto market, understand this. Right now we are below $2 as a whole market, and just the metaverse space is going to be like 8 trillion. It's not only the metaverse crypto coins, but the metaverse ecosystem as well. The companies coming in, the projects being developed, all of them are going to grow over time. Again, over time. So if you don't have that, that is going to be one of the hardest part for you. Now, this is the Bitcoin chart. We can observe that we are bouncing each time we come to this support. Great. Now we are close to that support. We bounced. We kind of have a hammer pattern, which we can say, but we also need to understand that we are getting closer to this resistance. Now this resistance is kicking us down each time we are reaching that. So if we don't break this one, anticipate either a double bottom possibility, price coming back down and moving up, or coming back all the way back down to this support. That would be like 33,000, 32,500, that range. But if we are able to get through this one, it changes. We have 40,000 as resistance here, but if we break above that, the scenario is changing there, because the trend is now you get a lower high, again a lower one, then a lower high. So if we are able to break through that, now you're making a change. So you are going to observe, most likely, if that's happening, you are most likely going to watch that happen in RSI first, because that kind of gives us that signal. On a macro, I would actually show you guys this. Say for example, if you are looking at this one, you can definitely identify there is a pattern where we are correcting to the downside in this trend, corrective trend, where the price has done that rally to the upside, 1, 2, 3 big legs upside, then you correct it back down, and you can see this one slow correction to the downside and then one quick one. So you can observe the same, a slow correction to the downside, then going up quickly and coming back down quickly. So that marks kind of the end of that bull run in that wave 1 section, and then moving on to the wave 2. So the wave 2 kind of started like this. It had a V-shaped recovery, went to the top, broke above that, retested that, and started that bounce. So that happened here in the price as well. But if you look at this, RSI actually gave you that idea. We broke above, we are burning, we are going to go higher. So that bullish story continued, right? So we are expecting something same. If we are able to go higher and break through this level of resistance in this one, that is going to be the bullish case. So if that does, then we are going to rally and retest these highs, because that is a macro one. So you understood what you are looking at on a micro scenario and then on a macro one. Now, in the other hand, say here on the other hand, if you are going down, you need to get a double bottom. You need to hold this one. You don't, if you go down, that's not a good scenario. If you go down, that's not a good scenario, because we are going to see a lot of liquidations coming in and people panicking, because that will definitely happen. Now, here on the macro space of the altcoin market, this is what we actually watch, right? Yes, the price is moving higher. We have a pattern here. We still have a little bit room to the downside in the altcoin market space. So if we are able to kind of get through that and bounce, that's okay, that's great. But what I would like to show you is something similar to the last cycle. Here is you have a trend line which you maintain over a long period of time. Great. Then you go up, stay up, consolidate, and then come back down suddenly. Great. And then you kind of show like, okay, I'm breaking this trend line, and then slowly reverse, V-shaped bottom, go back up. Now you look at this, we have something similar here. 2019 or late 2018 till this point in time, we had this. We've been respecting that. Recently we broke below that. So if we are able to get back above that, this is showing us we are repeating here the wave 1 completion in altcoin market. That means you definitely have wave 2 and wave 3 pending, but that's the market. It may take another year to complete both wave 2 and wave 3. So if you don't have that time, it's going to hurt you in ROI, right? So if you are looking at this on different levels, you are right now sitting there saying, okay, the price is actually going down, the RSI is trending down, I don't want to be in this market. Right, that's your risk tolerance. It's all about understanding what your risk tolerance is and saying whether I'm willing to take this risk considering what upside I'm thinking, right? If you are there, do also consider the Bitcoin dominance. We are kind of dropping like this. We have support, right? We are here, but if we break to the downside, that's when I think like most of the money is going to move in to the altcoin space. But if we don't, if we are breaking higher, that means more money is coming into the Bitcoin space. And yes, as we discussed, Bitcoin is going to go higher, and then it is delaying the altcoin run. Yes, some of the alts will actually pump, as you see here, the random altcoins pumping crazy, moving through that. All that story will still continue. You'll see Bitcoin doing 1% and some of the alts doing 20, 30, 40. That kind of stuff will still continue to exist here. But when you actually drop from here to the downside, which I personally think like most likely we are going to go hit the resistance and then go back down. So that would be the time where the price is going to go down for Bitcoin and the dominance is going to drop, or Bitcoin is going to slow down and alts are going to take off. That structure is really relevant. Now, we've talked about this, right? We need to hold this support, which is really important. Now, if you are a buyer and if you want to buy lower, you're waiting for that wicks. So what you have to do is put those in. Don't just wait to execute that manually. You can put your orders in, but don't go leveraged. This is a market which, we have seen all the carnage happening here so quickly. So the sentiment here in the crypto market space changes so quickly, you may not even get proper time to react. So it's always better to understand that. On a shorter time horizon, if you are looking at this, say you're a bull, fine. What are you looking at? We need to actually go higher, great. So what would be that bounce like? Like this, fine. But in order to actually get that, you first need to break through this one. Otherwise, we are going to be limited here and then pushed lower like this, right? The chances are there. But what is positive here is that we also observe that the RSI is trending like this. So if you are able to break through this one, it shows you that no, we are not going to the downside, we are going to the upside. That's not bad. But Again, this level is a resistance zone. We've been under this for some time, so we need to actually break above that to show that yes, the trend is changing on a macro level. So that is what we are waiting for right now. So on a macro, if that is short term, this is your macro, this is your wick lower, this is your close, this is somewhere close. So now you observe the RSI, you got the highs, a higher high again compared to this one, then another one higher high. So you look at the low here, then this one which is here at 45 and the current one is at 48. So if we manage to get a higher high and a higher low pattern on the RSI and a macro, that still gives us that bullishness for the long term. If you are in the market for long term, that gives you the understanding of what you're expecting from the market. So guys, if you are getting value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. And if you want these kind of updates for a lot of different assets in your portfolio to refine your portfolio, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.